Welcome to Baby and Us, short videos to help you feel calm, confident and connected with your new baby.
My name's Catherine.
And I'm Claire. And you'll meet some of our amazing parent group leaders who will share experiences of life with their own new babies.
This video is about feelings, your own and your baby's.
We just want to start off with asking you a question, which is, what do you think you do really well as a parent? Sometimes it can be easy to focus on the things that we feel like don't go well, or sometimes we can get discouraged, but it's actually really great to think of the things that you do well. There will definitely be something, and just celebrate that and say, okay, yeah, actually I am really good at soothing my baby when they cry, or actually I'm really good at singing a song to them that they enjoy. Just anything that you know you do really well as a parent.
So for today's session, we'd like to start off with thinking about feelings. So we'd like you to think about how you've been feeling this week. So have a think back to the week. Have you been having positive feelings, negative feelings? Either are valid. So what sort of feelings have you been experiencing? And think about how you knew what you were feeling. And it might help to think about any physical sensations that you experienced or any thoughts that accompanied the feelings. And just to remember that it's perfectly normal to feel low mood, high levels of anxiety, extreme tiredness when you've had a new baby. And these are all really usual feelings. If it's at a point where these feel unmanageable and excessive, then that's the time that you might want to talk to somebody about these.
And now we want to go on to think about your baby's feelings. So that might be something that you've thought about a lot. It might be something quite new to you. But I just want to ask you a few questions again. So the first one is, when you look at your baby right now, what do you think they're feeling? And then the next thing is, what kind of feelings do you think your baby has experienced over the whole of the last week? So just have a think back through the last week, in the daytime, in the nighttime, whatever you've been doing. What range of feelings has your baby experienced? So you might have come up with happy or sad. You might have thought of pleasure or distress. They might have been excited at times. They might have been angry. They may have been lonely. They may have been contented. So that's a whole range of different feelings. So now think, how did your baby communicate those feelings to you? What kind of things did they do to show you that they were feeling those things? So maybe it was their body language, what they were doing with their body. Maybe you could tell from their face. Were they smiling? Did they look really distressed? Maybe they were crying. That's obviously a big way that babies communicate to us. Babies have different types of cry. So can you tell from their cry what they're feeling? Were you looking into their eyes? Could you tell from the eye contact you had with your baby how they were feeling? And do they show different feelings to different people? So do they express differently to their mum, to their dad, or to other people around them? So yeah, just have a think about your baby's feelings. So how can you help your baby to understand their feelings? Because they will not necessarily be familiar with different things that they're experiencing. How can you help them? So we would encourage parents to name their baby's feelings. So that can be really helpful to name the feeling and acknowledge what's happening.
In a day that the baby can have any number of different emotions and feelings, and it's really helpful to kind of verbalize those. So if my baby was really crying, I might say, oh, I can see that you're really sad because you've got a wet nappy and you don't like to be in that wet nappy. And so I'm just kind of giving my baby eye contact and just helping them to understand that I can hear them, I can see them, and I'm just using my words to just acknowledge that something's going on. It might be that they're really happy because somebody's just popped around to see them and they're excited, and just again, oh, I can see that you're really happy and excited, your hands are going up in the air and you love to see grandma, don't you? This is really helpful, and it's something to really start doing right from a very early age. And just because our babies can't talk doesn't mean to say that it's not valid. It's a really valuable thing to acknowledge our children's feelings.
So even if your baby can't speak yet, acknowledging feelings helps the baby process what they're feeling. And this can really help them to make sense with what's going on for them. The second reason acknowledging feelings is important is it builds a sense of attunement, so you and your baby understanding one another. So by paying close attention to what your baby's doing, trying to understand their feelings, helps you to understand the baby, helps your baby to feel understood. The final thing is that it really helps a baby in terms of their language development and learning to name their own feelings. And obviously at a baby's age, they're not developmentally old enough to be able to put things into words, but this is preparing them for when they are. So when they are finally able to speak, they'll be able to name some of their feelings and be able to understand some of the sensations they're experiencing and connect these to the words that you've been sharing with them.
For example, you can talk to the baby openly. If you see him very exhausting, very crying, things like this, you can just say simple things like, oh, I know you are unhappy because you have a dirty nappy. And also you can, for example, acknowledge him when he's smiling. Oh, I know you are happy. Yeah, I know you are tired. Yes, I understand. Many kind of those small things, it will make the difference and make you and your child talk to each other from very, very early stage. And that will help him while he's growing up. And he will accept you as well and accept your feeling in the future.
So next, we'd just like you to have a look at some of the scenarios we've got written up and just have a go at seeing if you can name some of the feelings that might be going on.
Okay, so for example, if your baby is crying all the time or having a fussy day.
So you might be thinking, my baby doesn't feel very happy. My baby they seem a bit grumpy or a bit irritable. And it might be because they're feeling a bit wet because of their nappy. They might be a bit overtired, or they might be in pain. So you might want to just share with your baby, oh, you're feeling unhappy because you're uncomfortable. That might be some of the things. So the feeling would be unhappy, tired, grumpy. So see if you can have a look at these scenarios and give it a go and see if you can name some of the feelings the baby might be experiencing. There's no right or wrong answer, so just give it a go. Okay, so you've had a look at some of the scenarios. Now we want you to have a think about this week and any sort of strong emotions that your baby experienced that you can remember. And by strong emotions, just where you clearly had an idea of what they were feeling. So it could be happy, sad, or anything else. And see if you can have a go at trying to acknowledge their feelings and what sentence you would put together. You might have, oh, you're sad because bath time's over, or you're feeling really happy because I've just sang your favourite nursery rhyme. So see if you can have a think about any of your baby's feelings and acknowledge those and what sentence you would put together.
So when I notice that my baby's in distress or experiencing heightened emotions, I try and have a best educated guess as to what she might be feeling and reflect it back for her. I think I just want to get into the habit of doing that, because I want her, when she's older, to be able to understand what certain things mean. Like when she feels certain ways in her body, does she feel anxious, or, you know, if she's feeling sad, I want her to be able to come and confide in me right up to being an adult. And I think that if I start that pathway right now of showing that I'm trying to understand it, and I'm trying to have that two-way conversation, that sort of getting into her mindset and labeling things for her. So I kind of hope that I'm, from a very early age, going to give her the emotional literacy, that there's language to be able to express how she's feeling when she's older.
Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this session on feelings. Goodbye.